Hello, YouTube modeling community. I'm your host, I guess, if you want to say. My name is Rick. I'm known as Rusty Rotor. It's just a nickname that I've had for close to 30 years. It just sticks, and I kind of come to like it. So for all of you that have not ever watched one of my videos, you know, or you will know, I'm very personable as far as I do a lot of talking. Very little of watching me build. And this is the mental, because this is Mental Monday mail call, no mail call. So this is the mental part of it. And it kind of touches base on other things that we've talked about in the past, but we're going to try to do it in a quick, orderly fashion. So on to the subject of Rusty Rotor. You've got a YouTube channel. All other guys, they film, they build all the way from the beginning to the end, and that's the video we see. We like that, or we like the talking. I've gotten rapport of all different angles, so I'm not really going to change drastically because this is me. This is what you get. This is what my channel, this little 3-inch by 7-inch screen that I'm filming on. This is my world and this is my realm, and I control it, and it gets done my way. Doesn't mean everybody's going to like it, and I know that going into it. But I am trying to make some changes to kind of appease to other audiences too. So the mental part about it is, and this is a good example because we're going to touch base on it. Don's Garage. I fully love his work, his build. I love his attitude. I like the way he approaches his videos. He's a no-nonsense type of guy, or no bullshit type of guy. And he is just that. And I'm a lot like Don in that way. He read a letter that somebody wrote. I don't remember it exactly. Most of you probably do. If not, go to Don's Garage. Follow him if you're not. You're going to see some great work done. Some great information. He read a letter from somebody. I guess I could be wrong, but a squabble on Facebook about something another. This said about prices of kits and whatever else. Main topic: model car. It's a toy, and at the end of the day, it's just a toy, guys. No, that's the part I don't agree with. It is a toy. You're buying a toy. It's a hunk of plastic. You can create a toy out of it. Yes. Make it roll around, play with it. That's probably what they were designed for originally, guys. You gotta think way back when models started coming out, they were toys. Nobody had that skill set and that knowledge of and technology that's available today. So we have to agree with Don and the gentleman that wrote the letter, or the paragraph about it. We have to agree with that to a degree. We don't have to agree with it 100%, and I don't. I do agree with a good portion of it, but not the whole thing. This is where that statement is wrong. At the end of the day, it's a hobby, number one, and at the end of the day, when you're done with it, it's a work of art. It's a piece of art, because you took a toy, you sculpted it, you molded it, you fabricated it, you scratch built, you incorporated resin casted parts, 3D printed parts, other parts from other kits, kit bashing. We've touched subject on all these in the past, but they all come for full circle on everything we do, and there's always something that pops up in there and kind of makes everything come to real life and make you step back and go, wow, yeah, okay. And that's what that letter kind of did. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a toy. Well, it can be, but no. What I do at the end of the day is not a toy. I don't play with these. I don't get down on the ground or on the table and roll them back and forth and make car noises. Now, when I was younger, I did, but I grew out of that to where, as I'm growing up and becoming more mature and more artistic and my abilities are getting better, my techniques are getting better, and my skill level is getting better, they become a work of art. They're no longer played with. They're for display. They get put in a display case, or another thing we touched on, you go to a show, you compete with it. And there's different levels of each of that. As I said, a show, you compete. You're going there to compete. You built this to compete. Or you built this just to put it on the table so everybody can take a look at it and see it. Doesn't mean you have to be on YouTube for that. Any individual local show, good way to go get model kits or aftermarket parts. And take one of your builds and set it on the table and just see what people think about it. Strikes up a conversation. You did something that other people haven't done yet. They want to know how you did it. That's what it's all about. And it's about fun. It's about the camaraderie of all of us as individuals. No matter if you're a car builder or a Gundam builder or a miniature painter or gamer or figure painter or canvas painter, it doesn't matter. We're all artists. It's just depending on what palette we're working with to create our work of art. To me, a model car is, even though I can do all the other things, guys, keep that in mind. I can take a canvas and paint. I can sketch. I can airbrush. I can watercolor. I can oil paint. I know how to do all that, but none of that is rewarding to me at the end of the day as it is these. Because number one, I couldn't afford to go buy the Ring Brothers captive charger. It's probably $150,000 car in real life. I don't have that kind of cheddar laying around. I can just go buy it or go buy the parts and build the real car, as a replica. I couldn't even do that. But I can do it here. And this is where I take my skill set, my abilities, my technical difficulty abilities, and my vision of what I want, and it all comes together. And everybody has to start somewhere. Number one, it's a hobby. Number two, you're supposed to have fun. Number three, you have to make the determination as the artist, and we can cut it short. So you got the toy, the box of parts, where your skill level is. So you can't do all this crazy stuff like I do or mass other people do it better than me. So you're like, I can build box stock, I can follow the instructions, and you don't even paint nothing, you just put it together. That is where, if it's left at that, and you're at the age of an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, boy or girl, and the model kit has the availability, this one does, it'll roll if you want it to, you're just building it to have fun with it. There's nothing wrong with that. And kudos to every young man, young woman that builds it and does that to them. And even if you tear it up and you break it, so what? You had fun building it. You're intrigued by it. You're into it. I can't wait to get this done. I'm going to play with it. And you got 2 or 3 done. You're playing with them. And it's fun. I get that. But that's where you hold your skill level at. It's a toy. You build it just for it to be a toy. And I think most of us, not just on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, a lot of people that just don't display their work or via social media, they're building it as, hey, I'm an artist. And an artist covers all those skill sets: fabrication, scratch building, reproduction, resin casting, 3D printing, design of all this stuff lower, CAD designer, because they're the ones that are making all this great stuff for us. They're designing it. These guys are 3D printing it, or they design their own stuff and 3D print it. Same with resin casting. They're taking old kits that aren't available anymore. They've got the kit, so they're taking the parts out of it and they're resin casting it and putting it back into production so you guys can get it. Maybe you're restoring a model. It's an avenue to go down to get the parts you were missing to complete the kit. All these things all intertwine. But as you, the builder, you're the artist, you're the designer, you're the fabricator, the scratch builder, you're the resin printer, you're the resin caster. You are all those components. And what level are you at on that? That's where you have to decide. And then decide, where do I want to go from here? I see that. I'd like to be able to do that. Well, don't be scared to do it. Do it. Doesn't matter if you fail. Doesn't matter if you F it all up. At the end of the day, it does not matter because you attempted it. Do it again and do it again and do it again until you achieve what you want. And when you're done, pat yourself on the back because you just took something from a plastic toy and turned it into a piece of art. Something you can be proud of, something you can look at every single day, something your friends can come over and admire and see and like, wow, man, that's so cool. Whatever it may be, your family members like, wow, that's really good, you know. And the next thing you know, Uncle Fred is getting you a model kit at Christmas time. He wants to see what you can do next. Uh, Characters are false, fake. Uh, but that's how I perceive it. You know, as a kid, I built model cars. I played with them. I broke them, smashed them up. I built airplanes and put firecrackers in and bottle rockets and sent them down a string and let them blow up. I did all that. And at the time, it was a toy. It was a hobby. I was having fun. I had fun destroying them. I had fun building them. It was fun all the way around. Nobody's telling me, oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. No. I mean, I shouldn't have because a lot of that stuff was, you can't even find those kits anymore. But, point in case, I bought the MPC Country Dodge Charger. It's what was available to me quickly. Well, I had the thought process going. I knew the kit was horrible. That's all like inside trader information. I knew from building it in the past, the green Charger. I don't know if you can see it over there or not. Let's see if I turn you a little bit. Where the heck is it? It's down there somewhere. I think it's right here behind my shoulder. But anyways, it's the same kit. And I learned from building that, oh crap, now I got fitment issues. And I made it look good. It turned out okay. But I know the next one, if I build one, I knew what to do to get it, tip top. And you've heard from Marcy on her video and from communication with me, she's had a horrible fit with this thing. Fitment issue after fitment issue, problem after problem after problem. I understand it because I've built it before and I'm building it again. But that's all in what you're willing to accept, what you're not going to accept. So if you starting this like I'm done with this, I can't, I'm tired of this. I understand. I cannot physically do that or mentally do that. I can't just throw this away or scrap it or move on. I may move on for a little while, which you've seen me do. I had to do other things in the shop, and this got put on hold. But now that I've come back and I've painted this thing, and I see all my work, hours of work that I put into this to make this look right, it's finally coming to life. Now, I have a warped issue. You can see it in the back. And it carries through to the front. But I want to show you something. So if you use this back window as a reference point, and you see the bottom of my nose right there is hitting the bottom edge of that window frame. And then you look up at the cowl in the front, you can see the passenger side is perfect. Lines up just right. The driver's side dips down. It looks to be probably about 1/8 of an inch. It's not. Just that little bit. No pressure. Puts those body lines right back where they need to be. So I know, because I've looked at this, I knew fresh paint, or before it's painted, I had a little warpage issue. How much pressure did I have to put on that to get it straight? It was very little to none. So I know when I go to final assemble it, so it just doesn't sit on the chassis and then the body's got that little warped look, I'm going to have to put a little piece of styrene in here, and I'll paint it to match the chassis. It won't be seen, but that'll be a glue point. And I'll glue it down and put weight on it to where it's all sitting level, and I'll just let it set and dry. And then when it's set and dry, I'll come back and I'll add a little more glue to it. And then if I have to touch up, paint anything in there, I will. But that'll keep that body straight. So that wasn't a big deal. My big deal was the front end and the back end. But you can see, I've straightened that out. I've got nice even body lines on both sides of the quarter, across the trunk deck. This has been reshaped, sculpted out, fabricated. Same way with the front, fabricated. But you guys will never be able to do it unless you just do it. And you got to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. So don't try to skip step A through W and move right to Y and Z, because chances are you're not going to be able to do it. You're headed for failure. It's things you can avoid. Start at the beginning. Just buy a model kit. Buy a thing of glue. Just build it the way it comes out of the box. Don't worry about paint. Don't worry about sanding and all the prep work and everything else. You know, if you see some flashing, get rid of the flashing. Put the model together. Hold it in your hands. Play with it a little bit. Roll it around if you want to. There's guys that build them just that way. They don't do nothing like we do, but they have fun doing it, and they move on to the next one. It's the way it is. The only thing they're buying is glue and a model kit, maybe a little sandpaper. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's all in how you perceive and what you want to do with it. So if you're one of these guys like me, you see, oh, I can do that detail. I want to replicate. Just do it. You're going to fail. I'm telling you that right up front. You will fail multiple times, but you eventually will get it. And there's nothing more rewarding than knowing that you made a part. You fabricated a part that the real car has onto a model, and it looks and fits the part to a T. That was the first attempt. I've never done that. I've always failed 2 or 3 times and then got it right, or close to. This is right. The shape of it, the way it bumps up, and the edges around it, and the angle of the nose or chin spoiler, everything is accurate on this. It looks like it's pointed up to the air, but you gotta remember this car is on a rake, and it's meant to be just like that, flat out from underneath the car in the front. The real car looks the same way. So figure out right away how you want to build. You want to just build in box stock, and true box stock is just right out of the box. You're not using anything but glue because you have to glue it together. You're not using any paints. You're not using any aftermarket anything. You're just gluing it together, clean. And I honestly recommend doing that 2-3 models. Hone your skills of cleaning your parts, gluing them together, knowing where seams are that's going to be visible. You don't want that seam, so work on getting rid of those. Tamiya Thin Set is the best glue to start this off with. Excuse me. That right there. Because it not only bonds the plastic again, allergies are Asian. This will help. If you got a small seam, you can work this stuff back and forth, and it'll eventually melt that plastic down to where there's no seam. Then you can just lightly sand it all smooth. No seam lines. When you're doing that, work on getting rid of your mold lines that's on the body. All these things. And then you're just building it right out of the box. Put the decals on it. You know, if you want to get an aerosol can of clear coat the plastic, that's fine. That'll help protect everything, especially the decals. But you don't have to. And then hold the car, look at it, and see. Learn from what you just did. Know that next time you build one, okay, well, I didn't get this that well, and I know I could. So the next one, you work a little harder on that little area. As your skill set gets better and you're more comfortable at cutting them off the sprue, sanding the parts down, getting them put together, making them look flawless as possible. You've learned from trial and error that this kit has got some fitment issues, so you should always fit your parts together before you paint. Make sure everything fits the way it's supposed to. Mock it up with tape, however you can. Putty things together, or use Elmer's glue like some guys do. Glue everything together, let it dry. Mock it up, and then soak it all in hot water to dissolve the glue. I did that a couple times, and man, that was a lot of work. And then do your final assemblies. And once you've honed that skill of knowing what the parts are, cutting them off, how to glue them together, get rid of your flash, your sprue marks, your mold lines, the little circles you find underneath parts. I forget what it's called, injection part, or injection seam, mold, whatever. Once you've honed all that down, the next is then go a little further. Get you some sandpaper, the right kind, from about 600 up to 12,000. Find it online, eBay, Amazon, any one of these hobby stores. And then start working and honing your craft on sanding a body. Washing it off. Taking a look at it, seeing what your results are. See how smooth it is. Is there any more sand marks you need to get out? Work on your perfection of prepping a body. Then when it's done, it doesn't matter. You can put a coat of clear over it. It'll bring all that back and make it look nice and shiny. then you know the next time you build a car, you're going to paint it. So you've already mastered your skill of sanding and getting the body right. So now your next step is to paint. It's the same way for no matter how you go, all the way up to full-blown detail like that. Which, by the way, this is not cleared yet. Oh boy, look at that pearl and the shine just in that paint. It's not even clear coated yet. You can work your way up to a perfect paint job. And when I say perfect, that you can't get any better than that. I don't care who you are. Now, clear coat's a different beast in itself. That's usually when I pick up dirt and it gets flawed a little bit, but we're knocking wood, it won't. But that's, you can see, guys, everybody has a skill set level, and you have to decide what kind of builder you're going to be. If you're just going to build it to play with it, that's a toy. At the end of the day, what I build is a piece of art. You don't play with this. This is put on display here on tables at a model show for everybody that can possibly come see it, or by people that shooting film videos of the show. Maybe you watching it on YouTube or another platform, you get to see what I do, and you can see it at the show, or if you're there in person, you can see it up close and personal. That's where I wanted to be, and that's where I've strived to get to. And another thing, you have to set a budget, guys. This stuff is just as expensive as anything else. This car right here's got over $100 in it. The 32, it's probably got right at $100 in it. Now, if you added my labor hours into it, we're talking thousands of dollars. But no. What's my labor rate? My labor rate's $135 an hour. Should be higher. People get shell-shocked. Oh my God, it took you 30 hours to build this. That's right. But no, let's get higher than that. We're probably close to 100 hours. Maybe. Captive. We're at 30%. We're at 30 hours, and I still have to add the other hour and a half in. So we're 31 and a half hours into this so far. So you do the math. And so you'd see at that price, that's what you get right here where it's at. Not complete. I still got another probably 30 hours in this or more. Because we're at basically 30%, or what I got listed? 30%? 30%? We're like about 35% right now. So, knowing all these things is how you form and decide on what you're going to build and how you're going to build it. And trial and error is how you achieve what you're trying to get at. And if you're like me, at the end of the day, it's not a toy. It's a work of art. It's not a box stock Dodge Charger where it'd just be a model, but it's still a model. I created it. I painted it. I did the work to it. This is a work of art. Because in real life, the real car, that's a work of art. That's all handcrafted, hand fabricated, to fit all those components into a 69 Charger. The interior is a work of art for the way they leather stitched all the interior. That's a work of art. And this is a work of art. So that's the only part I don't agree with. Everything else I agree with on that letter and that statement and what the hobby's all about. But first, it's a hobby. Second, it's to be fun. Third, it's meant to be shared, embraced, coach, mentor, younger people that aren't familiar with everything as you are. Don't be negative. Negativity is the worst part of this hobby that I've ever seen in my life. Who cares if you can build a pro mod, full-blown detail, to the T, perfection. Kudos to you. Little bragging rights, maybe. A little, yeah. I can see that. But don't be negative to other people. They may have tried built exactly what you built, but theirs isn't on the level of yours, and you want to be negative about it, or you laugh at them, or whatever. That's negativity. There's no need for it. I don't tolerate it. I know a lot of other people won't tolerate it either. But there's always the wise ass, buried within our hobby. It doesn't matter if it's military, Gundam, minis. It doesn't matter. You strive for greatness, and that strife is trial and error. You try it, you fail. You redo it until you get it right, and that's what it's all about. That's the mental part about this. you guys can leave your comments below. It's not a whole lot. It's just kind of coming back around on touching a little bit on everything that we've talked about in the past. Talk about stuff that's, in the present current time within a month or so. I've wanted to do this one for a while, and it wasn't really fully complete and everything else, but it was enough that we could at least get it out and have something to talk about today. And that's primarily what Mondays are for. I've done it a lot on other videos. It's just because there's really nothing going on to really give you anything, so it's more talk than anything. But we're in the position now where the builds are really kind of kicking off and going. So there's going to be more current things going on. We're getting closer to these 2 builds being finished. Same way with sister-in-law, or not sister-in-law, but viewer's choice and wife's choice. These 4 builds are real close to being finished. And then we get to move on to a couple other older projects and new projects. That's the best thing, is the new projects. There'll always be a project on these 2 benches no matter what, going constantly. They're not going to be the full build series, but there'll be stuff I show you on what's on my bench or through the middle of the week or on a Monday even, of what's going on with them and where we're at with them and all that. So don't ever think that you're not going to get to see that. It's going to be months and months before this is done. No, I'll always keep you updated on it. So like I said, leave your comments down below. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell notification. You'll know when these videos come out. I can't say that our videos are going to get super intense, but we are going to make some changes here, and we're going to try to a little bit better editing, a little bit better quality this and quality that. We're starting the build series where there'll always be a featured build, and you'll get to see the whole process, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about that, and it'll be something separate from what we normally do through the week. And anytime there's a tip or a trick, that'll be just a separate little video. And if you guys ever have any questions or you want to see something specific, just kind of let me know down in the comments. If I get enough comments about it, then we will touch base with that. I've had a lot of comments about my distributors. Just know, guys, my printer is down until I get the motherboard replaced, and hopefully that fixes it. That'll be back into full swing. Everything will be available. And then on that, we're just chugging away at what we have here. And time is really short right now for me. A lot of physical therapy, chiropractic, doctor's appointments. Almost takes up every day of the week. It leaves me the weekends, which is getting the house in order, grocery shopping, laundry, just like everybody else. So even though I'm kind of semi-retired, I'm not. There's a lot of stuff I have to do, and I have to do it at my pace, which takes me all week to do. So, you guys just know there'll be a video Wednesday, maybe. I've had a death in the family, so I have a funeral to attend. I have a doctor's appointment that day, so it may be real late. It'll be short, but it'll be real late coming out, and we may just hold it till Friday. That way, at least I can just get down here and get a couple hours worth of work done versus having to make a video. So that's a chance. It's probably what we'll do. So, but hit that bell notification. Get down there and see these fine, excellent, outstanding sponsors. Market Hobby Nut Models, Ryan Jones at Seaforce Model Works. The great, I call it great because I'm in love with their parts, MGSF. They are now available in the United States. Upscale Hobbies is now carrying this stuff. I think there's talks going on with him and Hobby Nut. That's all I know. I don't know any other information about it. I'll find out, as soon as whatever. But right now we can go to Upscale Hobbies and get the MGSF parts. If you like ordering from Hero Boy, you're a regular customer, and get them from Hero Boy. But get you some. They're excellent little detail parts that you can add to any build and add that little touch of class, little touch of detail that you're looking for. He's got a lot of it via the valve stems, the little keys, the center caps for certain types of wheels, depending on what kind of car you build. He's got the Fat Boy kit for the 300 SL Mercedes. It's a bad kit when it's all done. You can see his pictures on Instagram. His links will be down below. You guys go show him some love. Get you something from Mark. All that stuff helps this channel. It brings the great tires from Ryan Jones for you guys to see and look at, where they're going to be at, prices. They send the stuff from MGSF. I can't ever pronounce his name, guys. So it's better off not to botch his name. I just don't say it. You know the company. And then you've got, Ryan Jones, the wheels, and then everything under the sun from Mark at Hobby Nut. So definitely go check him out. I appreciate it deeply and dearly, and so does Mark. Uh, and I'm glad to have him as a sponsor, as is Ryan Jones and MGSF, because that's the stuff I like to see start coming in here. I've got a list already sent to Mark of bigger and better things. That's just going to take time, and as we get them, we'll unbox them and we'll see them. So until Friday, guys, this is Rusty Rudder. I'm out.